Namaste, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Effective and Efficient Safety Management in Clinical Trials. Now, it's no secret that timely and accurate safety reporting is important in clinical trials. My colleague and expert in multiple clinical trials, Ms. Melanie Miller, along with the rest of the team at 𝗀𝗻𝗄+, has invested a lot of time and effort into ensuring that we harness our collective experience into creating processes based on contemporary and, may I say, ongoing best practices in industry to provide our clients the best in quality and efficiency of safety reporting. This, in turn, helps reduce irrelevant reporting, ensures adherence to FDA and/or other local country requirements that are critical in case of global clinical trials. Welcome to the chat, Melanie.
Hi, Jay. Thanks for having me.
Oh, for sure. Melanie, let's get right to it. Can you please help us understand what items fall under effective safety management in clinical trials?
Sure. So safety management, as you already mentioned, it adds a lot of layers of objective oversight and credibility to a study. So it's really important that we do it in an effective and an efficient manner. And in order to do that, it really takes implementing solutions that fit the study's needs, but while maintaining compliance. And so here at 𝗀𝗻𝗄+, this is our goal. And so it really starts with pre-enrollment planning and study protocol design. So when we're starting a study, we really want to make sure that the outlines of the procedures and the protocol for safety assessment and definitions of events and safety reporting are clear. So then that helps to aid the sites so that we can get the most effective reporting of events throughout the study. Next is an SMP, or a safety management plan. And so the safety management plan is basically a comprehensive workflow that helps to detail how we're going as a CRO, as well as work with the sponsor, oversee all the safety reporting and then the processes to actually process those events. And so for us at 𝗀𝗻𝗄+, we really leverage a digital-first mindset when it comes to building our processes and workflows. And so we leverage automation, AI workflows, electronic databases, and this allows for us to seamlessly process the events that are reported in the EDC system through our safety databases for final reporting to the regulatory authorities and then to the sponsor. Also important is timeline management. So we're really specific in that, and we want to make sure that the timelines are clear. So if we do have an expedited event that needs to be reported, we have enough time to do that to ensure that the report is complete. We also want to remove silos between our services. So really important here is we work with every single team and service member on a project. So we're breaking down those silos that typically exist from safety to data management or safety to your clinical monitoring team. And we really strive to work with them throughout the whole study as needed. And that could be, helping to clean the data in the EDC, or helping monitors to address reporting questions that their sites have, and addressing queries that we need to the events. And so breaking down those silos too, it adds efficiency because there's transparency in facilitating decision making and clear communication of safety information across the whole study team. And then last two things that are important is obviously safety training and education, and then continuing improvement. And so we really focus on not only training our internal teams, but training the study sites and the PIs. And so we spend a lot of time during SIVs, which are site initiation visits, to make sure that they're understanding the safety elements of the protocol, and they understand how to report, and they can complete the EDC, ECRF for AE reporting seamlessly without any misunderstanding. So we really work on that, and we will then continue to improve throughout the trial on all of these things. So we're constantly reevaluating our workflows, our processes, as well as anything that needs to be trained on throughout the study. And together, all of these steps and these things that we focus on, it allows us to maintain a very effective and an efficient safety process for the study.
Melanie, thank you for that very comprehensive high-level overview. So what's new when it comes to safety-related items from a clinical operations perspective? considering best practices?
Sure. So new things that are really up and coming is AI and machine learning. So the implementation of safety databases and different types of technologies to help analyze that safety data and those safety signals, as well as processing of events. Something that used to be done very manual and by paper is becoming very AI driven to help with that, to add the efficiencies as well as also to make sure that the data is reliable. We also have digital health technologies on the study patient side and at the site side. So we're seeing ePros being utilized, and ePros are basically electronic devices or apps that can be utilized to collect safety information from the patients. So we're seeing a lot of apps being created for cell phones. We're seeing wearable devices for patients that encourages them to be more active in their AE monitoring and reporting. And so then this all helps, obviously, so that in between those study follow-up visits, the patients are really playing a more active role to getting that reporting to the sites. So it's more accurate.
Excellent. All right. Well, last question, but this is the most loaded question. Who are the central players in safety management, and what does the overall process of safety management look like?
Sure. Yeah, this is a big question. So really everybody that's involved in the study can be a key player and they play a role. And so it's essential that the project team and the study team works together so that you get timely and compliant AE reporting. And to minimize, duplicate occurrences or any type of delays in reporting to the authorities. And so you really want to harmonize as a team. And so it starts with the sponsor. They're ultimately responsible for the safety and the AE reporting and the regulatory compliance for the entire study. The next layer is your study sites. And so your sites and your PIs, your coordinators, they're responsible for the conduct and the safety of the patients at their site. And so making sure that they have protocol compliance, that they're doing proper AE management, and then also they're communicating all of this back to the sponsor, any IRBs, as well as the CRO, so 𝗺𝗀𝗻+, and then the regulatory authorities. Next is the CRO. So that's where 𝗺𝗀𝗻+ kind of comes in. And we kind of sit side by side a little bit with the sponsor because a lot of the responsibilities are given to us to do for them. So we're ensuring that adherence to the AE reporting procedures. We're facilitating the procedure and the management of the reporting at the site level as well as at a study level for the sponsor. So that means developing the procedures and the workflows. We're maintaining a safety database. We're overseeing any safety committees that might be involved. So if there's a data monitoring committee or a clinical events committee or a medical monitor, we're making sure that they're doing their job and their role. We're also conducting, regular safety event listing reviews. And then we're implementing kind of the QA measures for the whole safety management across the whole study team. So we're kind of then making sure that your PIs are staying in line and the sponsors following. We're making sure that our CRAs are properly monitoring events and helping to facilitate those safety-related queries or collect source documents that we would need to review an event properly. And then data management. So data management is really that data integrity, right? They're monitoring the data as it's going into the EDC and making sure that there's integrity there and it's properly documented on the CRFs. And lastly, we have our statisticians. And so they're there to make sure that the safety data is reported in listings and reports, whether it's for the sponsor or regulatory authorities or a safety committee review. They're making sure that that's readable, that it can be analyzed properly for efficacy and safety purposes for the study. And so then they come in. And then lastly, I did mention your safety committee. So not all studies have a safety committee. But when you do have a safety committee, these independent physicians help to review and make sure that the patients are safe. And they're also looking at the efficacy of the data and comparing it to literature that's already out there for the product or the device. They're also looking at high risk events And so typically your committees are implemented when you have a high-risk population, or you have a vulnerable population, or you have high-risk device, or if it's something very new to the market. They're there to kind of add that extra unbiased clinical support to the study team, as well as to the sponsor. So again, everybody plays a role. Everyone kind of has a seat at the table. And so, but what we really need to make sure of is that we're all working together. And that the process and the workflow is efficient, it's effective, it makes sense, so that we can report those events coming in correctly and in an expedited manner if we need to.
Excellent. Well, Melanie, thank you for walking us through all that it takes to ensure effective and efficient safety management in trials, and in doing so, highlighting how a CRO like 𝗀𝗃𝗃+ can help with the same. After all, it really matters. The quality and integrity of the data really matters to the final outcome of what is likely the most expensive design validation test that would be run on a manufacturer's medical device, or for that matter, even an IVD. Thank you for letting your experience and expertise shine through, and for enlightening us on multiple aspects.
Thanks so much for having me, Jay.